Are you tired of investing your heart in relationships that leave you feeling anxious and uncertain? Today, we're revealing 5 critical red flags in dating that signal attachment incompatibility so you can protect your emotional well-being before it's too late.
Through the journey of Emma, you'll learn the universal warning signs that your emotional needs aren't being met. Stay with us to discover how to protect your heart and find the relationship you truly deserve.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome to our community. I'm Tehrina Terry.
And I'm Joel Terry. We're licensed therapists with 30 years of experience between us, here to help you build healthy relationships.
And we do this through teaching the ABCs of lasting love: attachment, boundaries, and communication. Really, all things relationship.
So if that sounds good and you like that kind of content, please subscribe to our channel and like this video.
Welcome to our latest attachment series. After listening to your insightful comments on our original Taylor series, we're excited to bring you this new 6-part series that incorporates your questions and feedback. In this new series, we're introducing 3 new characters: Emma, Michael, and Rebecca, each with their own attachment struggles.
And today, we're meeting Emma and Michael. Emma's a smart, successful professional with anxious attachment tendencies who's learning to recognize relationship red flags while dating Michael, who has an avoidant attachment style.
These insights aren't just for those with insecure attachment styles. They're fundamental elements anyone deserves in a healthy partnership. By following Emma's story, you'll learn to trust your instincts, set clear boundaries, and make relationship choices that truly serve your emotional needs.
To help you apply these insights to your own dating life, we've created our free relationship guide for must-haves and deal breakers. You can access it right now as you're watching, so you can reference it as we go through these red flags or deal breakers and begin identifying your own. Just click the link at the very top of the description below and you'll get it sent directly to your email. All right, let's jump into Emma's journey. Emma has been dating off and on for a while, and she often feels uncertain about where she stands in relationships. Recently, Emma met Michael, and things seemed exciting at first. But as the weeks go by, Emma starts to notice certain behaviors that raise some red flags.
One of the first things Emma notices is Michael's communication style. Sometimes Michael's texting Emma all day, making her feel really seen and appreciated. But other days, Michael just disappears. No explanation, no heads up. Emma finds herself checking her phone constantly, wondering what she did wrong.
And for Emma, this inconsistency is destabilizing. She wants to feel secure, not always on edge. This experience helps Emma start recognizing that consistent communication is a basic need in relationships, not just a preference. She's not expecting Michael to be available 24/7 or demanding constant attention. She simply wants basic courtesy and consistency from the person she's dating.
If this sounds familiar, consider it a gentle reminder. Consistent communication shouldn't feel like a luxury. It's a fundamental building block of trust. Of course, building trust takes time, and it's normal for relationships to develop gradually. But when you're dating, pay attention to these patterns. One of our subscribers said in the comments, if he's into you, you'll know. If you're confused, he's not that into you. We say clear, consistent communication is a sign of genuine interest and respect.
Another thing Emma starts noticing is that Michael is really private, maybe even a little secretive. Emma asks questions like, "What are you up to this weekend?" Or, "Can I meet your friends?" And Michael often gives vague answers or changes the subject.
Emma's instincts tell her something isn't right, but she hesitates to say anything, worrying she'll come across as nosy or controlling. She understands that people have different comfort levels with sharing personal details, and that privacy is important. But after several months of dating, some basic openness about one's life is reasonable to expect.
And this situation brings us to an important balance: respecting privacy while also being willing to share your life. There's a difference between someone who's naturally private but still makes an effort to let you in versus someone who actively keeps you at arm's length. And it's perfectly okay to want a gradual integration into your partner's world as the relationship develops. If your partner consistently avoids sharing basic aspects of their life after a reasonable amount of time together, it may indicate that they're not ready for the level of connection you're seeking.
A few months into dating, Emma decides to bring up the topic of exclusivity. She wants clarity, an understanding of where the relationship is headed. But Michael responds with, I don't want to label things. Let's just keep it casual. For Emma, this is painful. She's looking for stability and commitment, not ambiguity. Instead of honoring her own needs, she starts to question herself, wondering if she's asking too much or moving too quickly.
And this is a good place to pull out your must-haves and deal breakers guide, which we made a typable PDF so you can begin taking notes. This way you can really begin thinking about and identifying the traits and values you need in a partner to feel safe and secure in your relationship.
Here's the truth. If Michael were genuinely invested in Emma, this conversation wouldn't be so difficult. When someone's truly interested in you, they're typically eager to define the relationship and make things official. And if they aren't ready for that, it's reasonable that they're able to communicate their hesitation rather than just dismiss your question. So while timing varies for everyone, consistently avoiding labels after a reasonable period of time indicates someone who's either keeping their options open or not fully committed. Asking for clarity in where the relationship is going is not about controlling the other person. It's about being on the same page and protecting your peace.
Emma eventually brings up her feelings about the relationship dynamic. She explains that when Michael disappears for days without communication, she feels anxious and unimportant. But instead of acknowledging her feelings, Michael responds with, "You're being too sensitive. I'm just busy with work. Not everything is about you."
This hits hard. Emma feels dismissed and begins questioning her own emotions, wondering if she's really overreacting. Here's the thing. Emotional validation isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental need in relationships. When Emma expresses her feelings, she's not asking Michael to change anything. She's simply asking to be understood.
When a partner consistently invalidates your emotional experience by calling you too sensitive, dramatic, or needy, they're sending a clear message that your feelings don't matter to them. Someone who truly values you might not always understand your feelings, but they'll make the effort to listen and acknowledge them rather than making you feel wrong for having them. Remember, you're not asking too much by wanting your emotions to be respected. You're asking for the bare minimum.
After several incidents of Michael disappearing and Emma feeling dismissed, they finally have their first significant disagreement. Emma tries to calmly discuss how they might improve their communication, but Michael's response is telling. He completely shuts down. He crosses his arms, avoids eye contact, and later leaves abruptly, saying, I need space. I can't deal with this drama right now.
And for the next 3 days, Emma hears nothing. No text, no call. And when Michael finally resurfaces, he acts as if nothing's happened, refusing to revisit the conversation. Why are you still upset about that? Let's just move on.
This pattern, withdrawing during conflict and refusing to resolve issues, shows an inability to navigate relationship challenges together. While everyone needs space sometimes, healthy partners return to address the problems rather than sweeping them under the rug. If Emma had completed our must-haves and deal breakers guide earlier, she might have identified the ability to work through disagreements as one of her relationship must-haves. It's these fundamental patterns that determine whether a relationship can thrive long-term. Nevertheless, Emma is now beginning to realize that without the ability to work through disagreements, their relationship lacks the resilience needed for long-term success. But will she follow what her gut is telling her? We'll find out in the next video.
Let's talk about the science of what's going on here, because what Emma experienced with Michael isn't just subjectively uncomfortable. It's supported by attachment research. Studies show that inconsistent communication, emotional unavailability, and relationship ambiguity trigger what neuroscientists call the attachment panic system, activating the same brain regions as physical pain. When Emma feels anxious about Michael's inconsistent communication, her body releases cortisol and adrenaline. Those are stress hormones that are evolved to protect us from physical threats, but they're now responding to emotional danger. Brain imaging studies reveal that relationship insecurity activates the anterior cingulate cortex, the same region that processes physical pain. This explains why relationship uncertainty feels genuinely distressing, not just emotionally uncomfortable. And this science validates what Emma's experiencing. Her anxiety isn't a character flaw. It's her attachment system functioning exactly as designed, alerting her to connection threats. Research by Dr. Sue Johnson shows that secure relationships require what she called accessibility, responsiveness, and engagement, precisely the elements Michael consistently fails to provide. This isn't about Emma being too needy. These are fundamental human requirements for secure connection, supported by decades of attachment research.
Now let's get to the heart of it. When we look at Emma's situation, what's really happening is a fundamental mismatch in relationship needs, not a character flaw in either person. Michael's avoidant tendencies and Emma's anxious attachment create a painful dynamic where she chases connection while he retreats from it. But here's what's truly important. Emma isn't asking for too much. She's asking for consistency, openness, clarity, validation, and the ability to work through conflicts together. The essential foundations of any secure relationship, regardless of your attachment style. The truth is, when someone values a relationship with you, you won't constantly question where you stand. You won't feel like you're walking on eggshells or analyzing every text message. That feeling in your gut telling you something's off, that's your intuition, recognizing that your fundamental needs aren't being met. Your needs matter, and honoring them isn't just self-care. It's a pathway to finding a relationship that truly nourishes you rather than depletes you. What Emma is gradually realizing is that she isn't in love with who Michael actually is. She's in love with who she hopes he could become. And that realization is the first step toward choosing differently.
In our next video, we'll follow Emma as she faces a critical decision point. Will she continue trying to make things work with Michael despite these red flags? Or will she find the courage to honor her needs? We'll explore practical techniques for setting boundaries and recognizing when it's time to walk away, even when your heart wants to stay.
Now we'd love to hear from you. What relationship red flag have you experienced that you wish you hadn't ignored? Share in the comments below. Your insights could be exactly what someone else needs to hear right now.
Your time is valuable. Thank you for spending some of it with us today. If you found this helpful and have a friend who might be struggling with similar relationship patterns, please share this video with them. It could be the perspective shift that they need.
Subscribe and take care of your heart. And remember, you're not in this alone. We're all in this together.